The author David Foster Wallace, in his final unfinished work, The Pale King, writes, "Riding the CTA train and staring at both a passing scene and my own faint reflection superimposed in the window, and suddenly you find you're thinking about things that end up being important." I've lived with this quote over the last several years as I've ridden dozens of trains and stared at my own faint reflection superimposed on the windows that graze the landscapes of Europe. What I'm about to share is my best attempt at conveying those things. These are the things I might say to you. Like many people, I was born into a tradition I could not follow. You stay or you leave, and I chose to leave. By the standards of most people, following your dream isn't encouraged. For me, there was never any other way. There was never a plan B. I ignored the advice of almost everyone, and it brought me here. In 2023, I began pursuing independent studies across Europe. And now I've studied with teachers and players I'd only ever dreamed of even meeting, let alone getting their attention and advice. I've traveled to close to 24 countries looking for answers, and along the way I found everything and more. First you learn the rules, then you learn to break them, as they say. On the outside looking in, it may look fun, and it is fun. But it'd be misleading not to relay that it's been one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's also been the most rewarding thing I've ever done too. I've been pulled and stretched and broken and fashioned in ways I couldn't conceive of from the beginning. There are some things I've come to realize along the journey, and one is that these difficulties, to put it lightly, are the precursor to growth. So, with that said, the first thing I might say to you is, embrace the fool. It is said that if a fool persists in his folly, he will eventually become wise. The fool is not burdened or preoccupied by the judgment of others. The fool is innocent and spontaneous, open to possibility. Without knowledge and mastery, he is free to explore and take risks, and oftentimes comes face to face with truths others overlook. Which brings me to the second thing I might say to you. Take the third path. In a world that sees in black and white, red and blue, the third path is the union of opposites. Those closest to you may say this path or that path you should take. The third path is the road less traveled. The path unique to you that only you can see the start of. While you cannot see far down the path at first, it is the path to individuation. You are marble and sculptor. You don't choose your name, but you grow into it. Take the third path and see where it leads you. The third thing I might say to you. All we have is now. I was walking along the Rhine River to find a spot to swim, and on a post near the water I noticed painted words that read, "All we have is now." I went back to swim there multiple times throughout the week, and despite looking, I never saw the post with the words on it again. The wellspring will one day dry up. The clock will strike midnight. To spare yourself the look of an unfulfilled man looking back at you in the mirror in the early morning hours, take action with the knowledge that now is all we have. Listen more than you speak. Right now you have more to gain from others' words than you do offering people your own. Stay quiet long enough, and what you need to hear will come to you. There is always a contradiction. One teacher espouses fixed advice. Another teacher ardently believes the contrary. There is always a contradiction, and it's your job to reconcile them. Within both points of view there is wisdom, and there is wisdom in seeking wisdom. Wherever you go, there you are. Dreams are not meant to be left on pillows. Some music is loved by the listener from the downbeat. People can be like this too. Like rubato, what is taken must be given back.
Seek after your own measure of success, free from the measure of others. Choose the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. What you need most is found where you least want to look. With gaining knowledge also comes the burden of knowing. The people you meet and the friends you make along the way. Tonicizing a key we will never play in. If you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. I don't want to make a living, I want to live. A worthwhile struggle, for without it, it's just a struggle. Friendship with a counterpoint. Some things we will never understand. Why he notated what couldn't be played. Why I waited by the boat so long. Why the ships have to pass each other in the night. The creative endless toil, when at a snatch, oblivion ends the coil. Knowledge is not synonymous with understanding. Everything is promised while nothing is guaranteed. Sheltering orange skies confirmed what I'd always known. That this was probably the fate of all creative individuals. Let's say goodbye now so that we don't have to later. As I sit on the train and stare at both the passing scene and my own faint reflection, I ask myself, what if it works out better than I imagined? These are the things I might say to you.